How's it going, everybody? So, I'm going to talk about all the content that is in my wife's get home bag. Now, this rides in her vehicle whenever we go further out of town or anywhere that we actually might need the bag. Now, if we're just going, to the grocery store or something like that, which the grocery store is literally a block and a half away, it's not really necessary. We walk to get our groceries sometimes just because it's nice outside. But if we're going anywhere further out, we're going to take all these contents with us. So if we're going out in the mountains, hiking, whatever, this will stay in the vehicle ready to go. So specifically the bag. The bag is a Osprey 32-liter backpack. So the reason why we chose this particular pack is because it fits my wife's frame and body weight very well. My wife is a little bit shorter and she weighs about 100 pounds. So we had to tailor a lot of the weight to what her capabilities are as a hiker and everything like that. Same with my bag. I had to tailor my bag to me, and you should do the same with your particular bags. Get out, use them, figure out how they work for you. If there's hot spots, if the bag doesn't work, get a different bag. So far, we really like the bag. We've probably had this several years, and we slowly transitioned it over into the get home bag realm, and that's what we're using it for now. So moving further up, this is assorted clothing for summertime use. So these bags, or at least this bag, is fully waterproof because it has the roll top seal on the top. So even if you would get into water, say go fully submerged, all the clothing and stuff is sealed up. There's not going to be any room for water getting in there. So like I said, this is a summertime bag. There's also a wintertime, upgraded type of bag that I will show maybe in the future. I've already shown that in my bag, and I'm soon to do a summer edition for my get home bag as well. So watch for that coming out here pretty soon. Moving on over to food. So we decided we don't really need too much food at the specific location that we are at. Everything being reasonably close, but when we go further out, other bags accompany us. So we have, obviously this is the get home bag, but then we also have bug out bags in pre-stage locations in our house and other thing like that. In case we would go further out, we can grab those bags and be supplied more on food. But we just have one MRE, which this is the chicken and noodles one. It's actually pretty decent, along with these SOS ration bars. They're not too great to eat, but they are packed with a ton of calories in them. And that's kind of the main idea, is just getting a bunch of calories, along with some tuna and some assorted protein bars and other stuff like that, along with utensil. Now they fit in bags too. You can see I have the bags below there to keep them organized, everything like that. So even in the summer bag, I still will carry or have gloves and a cap, because it does sometimes get cold in the evenings and the nights. If you'd have to stay the night in this particular bag, it's better to be warm than freezing to death. So moving further down is more like the hygiene base area. So we have bath wipes, hygiene products, and then Kleenexes and stuff like that. So just to keep yourself clean, everything like that. You don't want to let things go, because that can cause issues further on down the line, depending if you have to walk home for, say, 24 hours or 72 hours or even further. So small survival guide as well. Really nice to have handy, because you can reference things along the way. And it's a small, compact one as well. Knife, chem sticks, and a flashlight, kind of key, required things that you have on you. Along with a canteen. There's also a water bladder actually built into this bag as well, which I think is a 2-liter. And then you also have a canteen and then the cup with it. So you could actually boil water in this if necessary. But up at the top, we have water filtration as well. Along with over here, there's actually some other water purification tabs. So there's 3 ways of pretty much treating water in this particular bag, which you always want to have more treatable ways of doing it, or more ways to treat water, because if one of them would go down, For instance, if you were using your filter and say it froze overnight, now the membrane's broken and it's no good. Now you have nothing else. But you can still boil and you can still do tabs. So also, I have a full trauma kit on here. This rides on top of the bag. So the first thing that you open up is immediately the trauma bag, along with the tourniquet on the side, which is easily accessible, and that is exterior to the bag over on this side. It is ready to go at a moment's notice, which that's how I like to have it set up. Also have some other hygiene or smaller stuff up here, some gloves, hand sanitizer, masks, antibiotic ointment, and then some liquid IV, which is really helpful if you are hiking long distances. Get all those salts and everything replenished back into your system. You get less dehydrated quicker. Also, I have a pill bottle here. These are with small tea light candles, which is always really nice to have, because if you have a tea light candle, you can use your lighter to light the candle, and then the candle can stay lit for, some of them are up to 2 hours. So while you're trying to get a fire started, you have your tea light candles already lit, and then you can use that instead of constantly using the fuel in your lighters and stuff like that. You can just use a tea light candle. Works out a lot better. Same with matches. If you only have a limited amount of matches, one match to the candle, and you let the candle burn, and then you slowly work on building a fire up after that. Works out a lot better than using 40 matches on one freaking fire. So paracord or cordage, which is kind of key for anything in a bag. It's just nice to have a million different ways to use it. Same with tape. I also have hand warmers in here as well. It does get cold out there. Dexterity is pretty key when it comes along to actually doing things around camp. My wife gets cold a little bit easy, so that's why I have them in there. So if she would be alone for some reason without me and need her hands immediately warmed up to do, a small task, she has that available to her. Along with on the bottom here, we have assorted batteries and a full fire kit as well. And that is sealed in this waterproof bag, along with other Ziploc heavy duty bags, as you can see. So there's 2 or 3 methods of sealing water out. Moving over to the right, this is over here, if you can see, kind of blends in. But that panel is like a visual panel. So if you would get lost or say broken down the side of the road and you're trying to get rescued, this opens up into a very large panel that can be easily saw. It's used for, or it has IR reflective based properties on it too, so night vision can pick it up very easily. Below that is a large contractor bag, and that is used as a ground mat, so you don't absorb that moisture or anything like that off the ground if you were sleeping. Here is a full poncho over here as well. Right, wet weather gear. Ponchos work pretty well. Probably going to upgrade to like top and bottoms maybe, but ponchos just kind of work really well, especially where we're at. We don't see too much rain, so it's not that big of an issue. This can also be used as your rain fly, along with a whoopee, as you can see here. And then I have 2 different bivvies, so these can collapse inside each other depending on the temperature. So if it's a little bit cooler out, you can go with the smaller one and then slowly upgrade to this, plus the whoopee, plus the rain poncho, and then the ground mat. You have a pretty solid shelter. Now, it's not going to be the greatest thing out there, but it is definitely going to get you through. And remember, I could add a lot more stuff to this, but we have to be conscious of weight in this. So that's why we're lacking a few items here. So you can move further quicker with less items. So you try to get past with a get home bag of just the reasonably bare minimum of what you really need, of what you think, how far you're going to be traveling. My wife doesn't travel as far as I do normally, so that is why we don't have a lot of stuff packed in here. So if you guys like this kind of stuff, seeing get home bag, bug out bag kind of stuff, seeing what's in particular bags, definitely hit that like, hit subscribe. There's a lot more stuff coming up. I actually have a few videos going to be coming out on get home bag and then the accompanied bug out bag on top of that. And I'm going to do my summer edition of my particular bag here pretty soon too. So if you are interested in that, definitely hit subscribe. You'll see that coming out on the channel. So I hope you all have a great day.